I think I would like you to take this commission much more seriously and give us proper answers. You are not assisting the commission. You say, I took the oath, I said I was going to tell the truth, and I'm trying my best to assist. You must accept sitting there that when you say, I don't remember, it's of no assistance to the commission at all. It isn't of any assistance. And maybe it's worth mentioning that you're actually here under subpoena. You didn't volunteer to come and assist us. You were subpoenaed to be here, and you're sitting there behaving, and I say this with utmost respect. You're sitting there behaving like someone who's just discharging the obligation of coming here under subpoena. You're not going to tell us anything. You do know what this was about. You simply choose not to tell us what you know this WhatsApp message was about. You can comment if you want, but that is my view as well. I share Commissioner Kumla's view that you're not being of assistance to us. And it's a deliberate decision that you have made.
No comment, Commissioner.
Thank you. The guys that you're referring to, you have insight. They assisted us. It's not a slip of the English language. It's a fact you are stating. The guys who assisted us. So you're much more involved than you've let on to us. Lastly, the us, it's not a slip of the English language. It's not sometimes we speak us. You're speaking about something that you and Mr. Madlanga are involved with these guys who have assisted you and that you need to finalize the contract. That's what this text is. And please do not say to us things that suggest you think I think we've all done English, at least up to matric. And this is simple English. There's no difficult words that require a dictionary. Your text is clear. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract for those guys who assisted. And then us, you and Mr. Madlanga and whoever else you are referring to. That's what it is.
And just one last point. Remember your earlier discussion with Mr. Madlanga.
Do you wish to comment on this, General?
I was advised not to comment, and I'll take it.
No, I did not ask you not to comment. I just don't expect you to have a comment.
Thank you.
You can comment if you want to.
I take that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I was just reminding you, your earlier discussion with Mr. Madlanga on page 3, it can't also be a slip of a tongue because he says to you, our project, meaning yours and his project. So it can be that both of you don't understand what us and I and me and we mean. Surely it cannot be. Your response to him is to thank him. Your response is not, I don't know what you're talking about. Your response is to say thank you. Want to comment or simply accept that that's what the text says?
I don't want to comment because our context of the text are not the same. That is all. I rather remain silent on this one. I don't want to answer.
Well, the context will be the same because according to you, yesterday you said at page 2 when you were asked about the guy that I met very late, couldn't even notify you, I'm coming back again tomorrow, though he needs to give me feedback. You said that was the guys you referred him to for risk assessment. That's at page 2. That's what you said. It's the guys for risk assessment. And then at page 3 that Commissioner Kumalo is referring you to, where you say where he says, the guy I went to see really helped. I will tell you whenever you back the site. Monday I'm starting with our project. Nothing is disturbing me anymore. You said that's the risk assessment. So, and then now at page 10, you say it is the risk assessment. So you're talking, according to you, you're talking about the same people. So the context is not different at all. And Commissioner Kumalo is correct to say, well, your explanation yesterday that the hour at page 3 could not have been referring to a project that you are involved with. When you look at that and then you look at this page 10 where there's a reference to us, it's clear what it clarifies is you are involved with Mr. Matlala, whoever else is involved, we don't know, but certainly with Mr. Matlala. You are involved in a common activity, whatever that common activity is. You tell us that common activity is the risk assessment, but we know from this it's a common activity by the use of plural. And we know from you that all these WhatsApps from page 2, 3, and 10 are about risk assessment. So it's exactly the same context and exactly the same story. Thank you.
Commissioner, General, before you respond, I just want to say that your own version, you now say that the context, your response is very curt in response to the question by Commissioner Baloy, which is to say the context is different, and you leave it at that. But in paragraph 38 of your statement, you put those communications together. You say all of them about the same thing. So you say that yourself.
There is the, and I really am not asking, that this first part at least, I'm not asking a question, but just making the observation, firstly, that, there's this oddity that it is your son that Mr. Matlala does business with. Mr. Matlala is your friend, is your brother, and yet he's never met Tato. He meets him randomly on your account. It has nothing to do with you. He comes to you and asks you, do you know Tato Senona? When in fact you've described him as closely as you have. He's your brother. It's quite strange that he wouldn't know that you have a son called Tato, but I do know more than mention it. But more importantly, at page 7, that WhatsApp message, you're the one that starts. Mr. Matlala has not asked you anything about Tato up to that point. You're the one that says, did you meet with Tato? On its face of it, first, certainly on its face, you have had a discussion with Mr. Matlala about Tato. On the face of this WhatsApp message at page 7 on the 9th of January. And this is really, when you talk about a follow-up, when you're asking for information, this is the one. You knew they were supposed to meet. So we know you do discuss Tato with Mr. Matlala. So on the 9th at 17:39, you say, did you meet with Tato? This is you initiating on the face of it. Well, if not initiating, you are confirming an earlier conversation about Tato. Now you want to know, have they met? And then he says, tomorrow. And then he says, I'm waiting for offer to purchase first. You don't ask, what are you talking about? And I hear you when you say, Tato is 33, he's got his own company, he runs his business. That and I accept that part. But strangely, Mr. Matlala thinks you know about this purchase, even though Tato is a 33-year-old married man who's running his own business. Mr. Matlala says to you, I'm waiting for the offer to purchase first, so you know something about it. You don't say, what are you talking about, which I think one can infer. You know that they're buying an apartment and where things are at that point. And then when you then go to page 11, that WhatsApp message where he says, can you please, Tato, send me his FICA documents? I sent a message and called, he's not responding. Again, it's quite odd that Mr. Matlala would, through you, would make you a conduit about a business. His business between him and Tato, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But Mr. Matlala sends you basically, effectively, says to you, get Tato to send me his figure documents. That's another oddity. And on the face of it, it suggests that, in fact, the business transaction is between you and Mr. Matlala, and Tato is brought in the middle of it to assist in that he becomes your proxy in that transaction. And I think one has to be fair to you and put that impression to you so that you can comment. So just to make sure that you understand what I'm saying, that you first say, have you met with Tato? There's nothing before that between you and Mr. Matlala that makes this message make sense. So we have to fill in the gaps. And the gap that I'm proposing is to be filled in is you've been talking to Mr. Matlala about a transaction that he will be doing with Tato. You have been talking to him. So now you want to know, have they met? Mr. Matlala says to you, tomorrow, I'm waiting to get the OTP first. It doesn't give you a story about the transaction. This is what I'm doing with Tato. So you know what OTP is talking about, but it's not your business, you tell us. It's of a 33-year-old son. He has no business discussing it with you unless you're involved with it. So the impression it creates is that, well, you know about this transaction. And then at page 11, he says, tell him to send me his FICA documents. The impression it creates to me, and I may be wrong about it, the impression it creates to me is that you are, in fact, the one that Mr. Matlala and Tato were buying an apartment for, or in relation to. You were the real beneficiary of it. And Tato would have been a proxy in this transaction. That's the impression I get, and I may be wrong. You may comment if you want to.
Thank you, Commissioners. The analogy is incorrect. I am not the proxy. They were doing business. I testified, Commissioner, that in the latter part of the year, it is unfortunate there are no WhatsApp or whatever communications there. The Commission is only having these ones that were extracted from the phone of Mr. Matlala. But Tato, my son, is the one who approached him, Mr. Matlala. Mina, I was happy that my son will be able to make some